Ah yes, Nickelodeon. For many kids like myself growing up, this channel was the undisputed king of cartoons. We had absolute bangers. We did not know how good we had it back in the day. I feel bad for these iPad kids growing up today watching the most brain rot TikToks and shorts and will never understand the effect of a good new episode of Rugrats or SpongeBob or Fairly Odd Parents, but I can go on and on about goated Nicktoons, but there is one that I feel is an absolute banger of an OG Nicktoon, but doesn't get the true credit it deserves, and that cartoon is called KaBlam. So KaBlam aired its pilot in 1996 and ran 4 seasons to May of 2000. That's not awful of a run for a cartoon of this era, being that cartoons like Hey Arnold ran from 96 to 2004. Or if you look at Rocko's Modern Life, that only ran 3 years from 93 to 96. So in comparison to them, a 4-year run isn't that bad. What was so good about KaBlam was that there was nothing like that before. It was very much different from all the cartoons on the air at the time. It had its own soul, it had its own character and charm that was super easy to fall in love with, and it brought something to the TV for all kids that like different style of cartoons. You wanted slapstick cartoons? KaBlam had it. You wanted live action? KaBlam got you. You wanted naked superhero action figures getting ran over by cars and explosions and dinosaurs and electrocution and all that? Yeah, KaBlam was like, hold on, I got you, bruh. Everything about this show was unique and different from everything else. It was never too little and it was never too much. But aside from its regular cartoon appearance, it included other animations presented as pages from a living comic book, and that's what the show was mainly plotted about. 2 kids hosting their own show in a comic book world with other cartoons in it. They would have their skit, turn the page, and bam, a new fantastic cartoon to keep you hooked the entire episode. I was definitely that kid where I was like, oh, I hope Prometheus and Bob is next, and then they would turn the page and it would be like Action League Now, and I'm like, ah, damn it, okay, I guess I'll settle for this. I'll just have to wait a little longer. So other cartoons that were included in the show was Action League Now, Sniz and Fondue, Life with Loopy, Prometheus and Bob, and those were being the primary 4, and a few other cartoons or shorts would make sporadic appearances as time went on, and the crazy thing is, they would do actual celebrity appearances and cameos in the show as well. Like one episode had The Undertaker and Stone Cold, which has never been done since this. That alone right there makes KaBlam a high up rank of legendary Nickelodeon cartoons, and I'm sorry, you can't tell me otherwise. This show legit had everything. They even debuted music videos from bands like They Might Be Giants, and I'd be a liar if I said Dr. Worm doesn't play in my head from time to time. It's a catchy song, what can I say? Now, with all this, you would think that KaBlam would get much more praise or better treatment of reruns in today's standard, and it kinda did. It was put on Paramount Plus, but it was recently pulled because Paramount Plus is whack and they don't know what's good cartoons when they air it. They even had Action League Now the series on there, and they pulled that too. Like, come on, man, now what am I supposed to watch and drink a beer to when I come home from work after working 11 hours and come home to my rundown apartment in the Bronx? Like, why, Paramount? Why? But back in 2003 to like 2006, they would air little shorts on Nicktoons Network of mini episodes of like Action League Now, Life with Loopy, Prometheus and Bob, and they would air it with this bumper in the beginning, and it plays a crucial part of my childhood.
KaBlam presents...
That will never get old to me, and I will be like 80 years old with dementia, not even remembering my family's name, and I'll be like, I remember back on Nicktoons Network when they would air KaBlam Presents, and then air a banger-ass short when it would go back to the regular cartoon right after. Those were the days. Mark my words, that is going to be how it's gonna be. But getting back on topic, this was sort of the beginning of the end of KaBlam on Nickelodeon as a whole. In 2007, they did air episodes of Action League Now the series, but it was for a very, very short amount of time, and it was pretty much gone completely after that until it started airing on the streaming services, but again, that was pretty short-lived as well. So this is kind of what I consider the beginning of the true end of KaBlam and Nickelodeon as a whole. A few other things to mention about KaBlam is that they were so hot back in the day, they even had an Action League Now Burger King toy set, and I still have mine to this day. And aside from those, there was also a rumored KaBlam movie, but this kind of gets messy with the rumors and dates and other rumors of a Prometheus and Bob movie and an Action League Now movie, and yeah, it's just kind of all over the place. The Henry and June show, which I just now realized I haven't mentioned them as the host of the show until now, but they had a somewhat spin-off episode called The Henry and June June show, and that is what I'm assuming is the closest we came to what KaBlam the movie should and could have been like. But instead of episode 29 being the lost media, I think we should have just talked about KaBlam or Prometheus and Bob or Action League Now the movie as the true lost media of KaBlam, and not this silly episode 29 in which Mark Merrick, the creator of KaBlam, did say, hey, this is complete nonsense. There's a episode 29. Yeah, you guys can settle down now. And speaking of Mark Merrick, you could actually go on his website today and download every episode of KaBlam in its true original nature. You can look at all of his other animations as well. So, you know, shout out Mark Merrick for doing that for all of us 90s kids that loved KaBlam and keeping your website up to this day. It's got such a flash animation, early 2000s website-esque vibe, and it's just so nice to see. Now, do I put this in the same category of greatness as cartoons like SpongeBob? No, I don't, because nothing will ever come close to my boy SpongeBob. But I've always felt KaBlam never got its fair share of praise of how good and innovative it truly was and is. You look hard enough and there is a cult following for this series and everything it came with. We gotta put some respect on Henry and June's name in here. But although Nickelodeon won't give it its fair share of credit, there are many people out there in the world that remember this show and has very fond memories of it and will always love this show for what it was. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.